Thrill Dragster was a one-of-a-kind Intamin hydraulic launch coaster that opened at Cedar Point May 4th of 2003. The ride held many records when it first opened, such as the world's tallest roller coaster standing at 420 feet, the fastest roller coaster in the world at the time, 120 miles per hour, and the biggest drop in the world, 400 feet. The ride launched 0 to 120 miles per hour, less than or around 4 seconds, and climbs the 420-foot top hat. Let me clarify, I'm speaking of Top Thrill Dragster, not Top Thrill 2. Original Top Thrill, not the new one. And the ride climbed the 420-foot tall top hat, twists 270 degrees at the top, then ends with a high-speed brake run. The total cost of the ride was $25 million to build. People traveled from around the country to experience this one-of-a-kind attraction. On August 15th of 2021, everything was operating normal with the ride until a flag plate had detached from one of the trains and struck a guest waiting in the queue line. Investigation found that the flag plate had been attached by some bolts, but around half of the bolts that were securing the flag plate became loose. They could have already. I'm going to speak about this later, but they were loose during operations. That's the point. I was trying to say it became loose during operations, and that caused the flag plate to detach from the train, hit the guests nearby. The ride was shut down in 2021 and was investigated. And why did I just say and? I meant to just say that the ride was investigated. Anyways, so my thoughts on this: was the accident preventable? I do think that with some proper maintenance and proper safety inspections, this accident was definitely preventable. I think that they were not doing their proper safety inspections, and what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think they were doing the proper inspections, doing proper maintenance on the ride, and that's what caused the bolts to become detached from it. I do think there is a possibility that maintenance could have just failed to catch it during their daily operation checks, but I also think that they were not doing them every single day and they were just skipping out on certain parts, and that could be what caused them to not notice what happened. So I do just want to make this clear. I am just saying my opinion on this as somebody who has operated rides for 3 years, studied them for about 2 decades. I know what I'm talking about. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is what happened. I'm not saying that they weren't doing proper maintenance. I'm just saying this is what I think from someone who has experience with this kind of thing, looking at the situation. I'm just looking at it, saying what I think about it. I'm not saying word by word this is what happened. So, also my thoughts on Zamperla redoing Top Thrill Dragster into Top Thrill 2. I did not think that they had it in them at first, because, at the time, I don't think Zamperla was really well known at the time. I had not been hearing about Zamperla I didn't start hearing about them for the past, 2 or 3 years? I mean, I knew they made flat rides. I know there's a few Zamperla coasters. Obviously, we have Top Thrill 2 now, obviously. I will give it to them. They experimented. They found the technology they wanted to use for the launch. They experimented with different things. They found what works for the ride. They implemented it into the ride. They somehow managed to do it. I have not rode it yet. I'm going to Cedar Point and hopefully going to Cedar Point in less than 2 weeks. But I think I don't know. Honestly, I'm more concerned about getting Millennium Force and Maverick and Raptor and Gemini. Those are the credits that I want the most. But I definitely do want to ride Top Thrill 2 once or twice. Let's see. I have much else to say. Well, obviously, we all know a ride that costed $25 million when launched you so fast in less than 4 seconds. We all know that was going to come with some kind of mechanical, electrical issues with the launch, faults, different faults with the ride and stuff like that. That's definitely not Intamin's fault, though. Intamin's definitely grown since then, and they've learned from their mistakes. I don't know that Zamperla has. Well, they haven't really made any mistakes, but I do definitely want to point out that we do know that Cedar Point's definitely lacking in maintenance because we did just see a bolt fall from Magnum XL 200. That is not aerodynamics fault. The flag plate falling off of Top Thrill Dragster was not Intamin's fault. These incidents that keep happening are not the manufacturer's fault. They are lack of maintenance fault. It's the park's fault. I don't want to say it's the ride operator's fault just yet. I will do some more research into this, definitely. I don't think that the ride operators would have been checking that part of the train specifically to see if anything was wrong with it. And, well, okay, to give them credit, the bolts could have very well came loose during operations because it did go 120 miles per hour. That is a big number. The bolts could have came loose during operations, but it does definitely point to they were already loose and Cedar Point did not see it. I'm not blaming anybody right now. Just saying in my opinion. Anyways, so this was my thoughts on Top Thrill Dragster. Obviously, a little bit of a problematic ride, but that's to be expected with the kind of technology they were using, the ride type, definitely to be expected. So, this was just my basic thoughts on Top Thrill Dragster, what happened with it. I do hope to get that Top Thrill 2 credit in a few days. Don't know if I will. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Cedar Point. That's the plan. Just depends. Anyway, so, if you like to hear people yapping about roller coasters, that's just all I do here. I don't really make those edits and stuff anymore. I just try and talk about roller coasters only because I would just rather sit here and talk about why I love Pantherian and other roller coasters and stuff. I mean, I do still like making edits, but anyways, so if you like hearing people talk about roller coasters, explaining stuff, you can subscribe if you want, like, comment your thoughts on what I just said. I'm open to debate. I don't care. I'm open to debating what happened, for sure. Anyways, that's it for this one.